if you just look at the Ridley Scott movies, you know, Thelma and Louise is a very different aesthetic musically from Gladiator, is a very different aesthetic from Black Rain, is a very different style from Matchstick Men. What else did I do with Rid? Black Hawk Down, you know, it's Hannibal. I mean, they're completely stylistically, they're very, very different, and he's very, very different as well in them. Because that's the whole thing. I mean, you know, it's, you know, one of the reasons I think he's such a great director is because he's interested in so many things, and he can get passionate about so many things, you know. And there's a underlying aesthetic and a huge amount of knowledge and craftsmanship that goes with being able to, you know, oh, we're going to go and tell the story of Hannibal Lecter, oh, we're going to tell the story of a battle in Mogadishu, oh, we're going to tell the story of some con man in the valley. Or a gladiator, you know, and you know, and really, I just know this about him. I feel this. I never talked about this, but you know, if I had to sum it all up, is he's genuinely interested in people, and he's genuinely interested in stories. And everybody looks at the amazing way he shoots things, and the amazing compositions, and the amazing eye he has, and the amazing artistry, but underneath all that, the foundation for all of that is he wants to go and tell a good story. I think at the end of the day, the director-composer relationship comes down to something. It has to come down to trust, because the director is sort of in charge of everything during the shooting of the movie. He can look through your camera, and he can probably adjust a few things here. He can probably do a line reading for an actor if he really has to. But when it comes to composer, you know, he has to trust me, because if he says to me, you know, what a nice C major chord here would be the perfect thing, it's meaningless. I see it so often that filmmakers find it hard to take the step off the cliff, because that's really what it is. You know, they've been involved in the script, they've been involved in the casting, they've been involved in everything. And by being involved, I mean they had language and eyes and whatever, you know, words to control the situation, to control their movie. And then they suddenly get to that bit of, we need music. And whatever words they use and whatever it is, however articulate they are, it's still not going to get the music written. So they have to go and hand over literally the baton to the composer. And oh God, the second movie I did over here for Ridley Scott, Black Rain, you know, and I had heard that Ridley had a bit of a reputation of not sticking with the composer sometimes beyond the first session. So I just said to him, Ridley, what it'll take for me not to get fired? He said, simple, don't write me a symphony. And I knew exactly what he meant. He said, write, you know, serve the movie, enhance the movie, elevate the movie. Be about the movie. Don't be about, oh, but isn't my music fabulous or something like that? You know, yeah, you have to have a strong ego, but it can't be a destructive one. The ego has to be the ego of the process, the ego of the filmmaking, you know. And at the end of the day, you realize we're all alone in this together. I remember Chris being very worried about a certain scene in Dark Knight. He kept bringing it up, saying this has to play like an action scene, has to be fast. It's got to be really fast music. And I looked at it and I thought, no, it's got to be the slowest music I've ever written. So I wrote this piece that, you know, I don't know, 25 beats per minute or something ridiculous. And everybody came, you know, I got everybody into the room and I said, Chris, you know, I tried something completely different. If you don't like it, you know, it's easy enough, you know, let's just spin it and we'll try the other thing. But I'm not sure. I think this could be interesting. You know, and everybody knew that he'd been going on about this has to be the fast piece. And, you know, I played it to him, and there's sort of a silence afterwards, and he's looking at the screen. And he looks at me, he goes, yeah, that works too. And that was the end of that conversation, you know, because it's just exploring. All we're doing is we're exploring things. It's not about this has to be a finished piece of music. I mean, so I tried the slow thing. If that hadn't worked, you know, it would have gotten us to the next sentence where I would have gone, so tell me, why the fast piece? Or why does the slow thing not work? You know, and it would have become a conversation. And somewhere in that conversation, we jointly would have found an answer. Terry Malick and I mean, he you know, we fought like cats and dogs at different points during the process. You know, at one point he said, you know, the way we speak to us, only brothers can speak to each other that way. Because we got passionate, we got into the ideas. And, you know, I think the it's not really working type of scenario is where nobody cares, where people don't get passionate, you know? And as long as you remember at the back of your mind, everybody is just trying to do their best. Everybody's trying to support everybody else. Everybody is trying to work at the top of their game and invent.